What is up, everyone? It's Quinn here, and in today's video, I'm going to be going through my Week 14 top 20 tight end rankings. Already posted the quarterbacks. Defenses will be coming out later today also. If you enjoy the video, do me a huge favor, hit that like button and subscribe. But let's dive right into tier 1, and this guy has to be in a tier by himself. It is Trey McBride. He has just been the perfect combination of consistency and just a ton of high upside weeks. In his last 7 games, he has scored at least 16 PPR points while also giving you a ton of those huge boom weeks. Jacoby Brissett at quarterback has really just been a godsend for Trey McBride. So he's got to be the tight end 1 locked in, the only tier 1 option. Looking at tier 2, I'm going to start off this tier with Brock Bowers going up against the Broncos. I was expecting more targets in week 13 from Bowers, but even on 4 targets, he did as much as you possibly could with that type of volume. 4 receptions for 63 yards, 2 touchdowns. That one-handed touchdown late in the game was just awesome out of Bowers. In my opinion, the best tight end in the NFL, at least as a pass catcher. His situation kind of sucks. Tough matchup against the Broncos, but the talent is undeniable. I think in a better situation, he definitely would be in that tier 1 range with Trey McBride. Also in this tier, I have Travis Kelce going up against the Texans. Since week 5, Travis Kelce has been a high-end tight end 1 play, 15.5 points per game. It's not a good matchup against the Texans, but Kelce's just been super steady. He's had a high floor, had a few ceiling games in there, someone who I'd feel very confident with in my lineup. And then I've got Dalton Kincaid going up against the Bengals. There's no guarantee he plays this week. He's been missing time with a hamstring injury, but he's had a solid season when he has been out there. And this is just like the locked in elite matchup for the tight end position. The Bengals are allowing the most points per game to tight ends by 5 full PPR points per game. So if Kincaid can get out there, I think he's a great option in your lineup. And then my last tier 2 option, Tyler Warren going up against the Jaguars. Just been a super steady option throughout the entire season. Hasn't necessarily been like ramping up his production throughout the season, but he's the tight end 7 in points per game. Someone who you trust as a nice mid-tier tight end 1 play. Now, tier 3 is a very large tier. There's a lot of guys here. I think it's kind of just pick your poison at this point. I don't have like full confidence in these dudes. Some of them are floor plays. Some of them are more boomer bust. I'll start off with Oronde Gadsden. And admittedly, this has been a brutal stretch for Gadsden. In week 10, he had 3 receptions for 13 yards. Week 11, 2 receptions for 41 yards. Week 13, after the week 12 bye, 1 reception for 27 yards. But it's very easy to kind of explain away these games just with like weird, unfortunate circumstances. So the week 10 game, he leaves early with a knee injury. So he's banged up, doesn't play the full game, 3 receptions for 13 yards. You could understand that. Then week 11, 2 receptions for 41 yards. That's not a good stat line. The team had 81 passing yards, or at least Justin Herbert had 81 passing yards. That was the brutal game against the Jaguars. So with 81 passing yards from your starting quarterback, like 2 for 41, actually a pretty decent game. And then week 13, his quarterback breaks his hand, and they're just not super pass heavy. Herbert clearly limited. The main concern I do have about Gadsden and his usage is that his route participation is falling, where in week 13, it was at 68%. And I think the injuries to the offensive line, they're trying to get, more blocking focused personnel. So you have Fisk playing a lot. Gadsden is a tight end, but like blocking is not his strong suit. He is a pass catching tight end. He's going to have to improve as a blocker moving forward. So that's not great. I still think just talent wise, Herbert, I do expect to play. If Herbert doesn't play, like you can tank Gadsden probably to the tier 4 area. But if Herbert's out there, I'm still fine playing Gadsden as a tight end 1. Then I've got Brenton Strange going up against the Colts. Just been a super steady option. Not a crazy high ceiling, but in his last 4 games, he's put up 12.1, last 4 healthy games, 12.1, 10.5, 14.3, and 13.5 PPR points. So very solid production as of late. Then I've got Jake Ferguson going up against the Lions. He's actually scored under 12 PPR points in his last 5, but the usage has been solid, 6+ targets in his last 4 games. Always going to have touchdown upside playing on this Cowboys offense. Tight end 9, Juwan Johnson going up against the Buccaneers. He has been super steady, not going to have a crazy high ceiling on this Colts offense, but at least 8 PPR points in his last 6 games. Kyle Pitts is my tight end 10. I would move Pitts down probably at least to the bottom of this tier if Drake London is back. If London does not play, though, he's coming off a really strong week 13, 7 receptions for 82 yards. Had been pretty rough before that, though, under 8 PPR points in his previous 4 games. Then I've got Harold Fannin going up against the Titans. Week 13, great usage, 93% route participation, which is awesome at the tight end position. 3 receptions for 43 yards and a touchdown. I'm not overly concerned about this matchup here at the Titans. It's just the offensive environment overall. It's just pretty brutal for Harold Fannin. Like, the quarterback play is bad. The offensive line is tough. So tough spot for Fannin, but a talented young player. Fine back end tight end 1. And then I've got 2 veterans, Zach Ertz going up against the Rams. Huge week 13, 13 targets, 10 receptions for 107 yards, at least 40 receiving yards in his last 4 games. And then the last guy, Dalton Schultz, going up against the Chiefs. He has also been pretty steady as of late. In 4 of his last 5 games, he has scored at least 11 PPR points and been targeted 8 times. Now moving into a small tier 4, 2 more veterans, Mark Andrews going up against the Steelers. Mark Andrews has gone for 50-plus receiving yards 1 time in his 12 games this season. His weekly floor is super low. He's someone who is very touchdown dependent. And until Lamar Jackson looks competent at the quarterback position, I don't want to be banking on touchdowns for his pass catchers, which is why I have Andrews outside of my top 12 tight ends. And then the other guy in this tier, I really liked him heading into the season. He's been a major disappointment. Evan Ingram going up against the Raiders. Maybe he started to put something together in week 13, 69% route participation, 9 targets, 6 receptions for 79 yards. Throughout most of this season, his route participation was kind of hovering in like the 50 to 60% area. So nearly hitting 70% is a good sign. Also the 9 targets, a big game. This team doesn't have these like elite weapons everywhere. So like if Evan Ingram can start to build something here, that would be cool. But I can't pretend like I have a ton of confidence in him heading into week 14. And then the 5th and final tier, these are kind of like your dart throws. Dallas Goedert going up against the Chargers. It's kind of funny the way the Eagles like offense has progressed this season, where it didn't look pretty early on in the season, but they were winning games, and Dallas Goedert was like a huge focus of their offense. As of late, the passing attack, I guess, has been a little bit better, but Goddard's just been brutal. Like, he's caught 2 passes in his last 3 games, like 2 receptions in all of them, and he has not exceeded 30 receiving yards in either of those contests. So he's been a pretty tough start at this point. Then I've got Colston Loveland going up against the Packers. I'm a long-term believer in Colston Loveland. I think he's going to be really impressive next season. He's just not pulling away from Cole Kmet at this point. He's still logging some solid games. Like, he had that massive performance against the Bengals, and then he's had like 9.5, 7, 14.9, 5.8 PPR points. So I guess the floor is somewhat there, but it seems like you're kind of banking on like 3 for 30, and then you're hoping he finds his way into the end zone. Few more guys here. Darren Waller going up against the Jets, made his return in week 13. Decent usage, like 69% route participation, 3 targets, 2 receptions for 47 yards. The Dolphins just have not been super pass heavy. They've been really running this offense through Devon Achane, and it's kind of been paying off. So don't know if you can bank on the passing volume for Waller. Then I've got TJ Hawkinson going up against the Commanders. Definitely getting sketchy towards the end of this tier. Week 13 finally had a decent performance despite the overall like Vikings offense looking terrible. 6 receptions for 59 yards. In his previous 5 games, he had not hit 10 PPR points. And then the last guy, AJ Barner, going up against the Falcons. I think AJ Barner's a fun young player. He has been pretty boom or bust. His weekly floor is very, very low, but on an offense that doesn't have a ton going on, in terms of pass catchers outside of JSN, could potentially be a boom option this week going up against the Falcons. And that is going to wrap it up for my top 20. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for stopping by, and I will see you in the next one.